My name is Alicia Langston. I'm 26. The youngest in a family that measures worth in magazine spreads, inheritance clauses, and who smiles better on cue. To the world, we were legacy. Behind closed doors, I was just the spare. Veronica was the showpiece. I was the dust behind the frame. For years, I played along, ate quietly, spoke softly, watched them hand her everything with manicured grace. But tonight, when I walked into the Lakeshore Crown Resort in Vermont, something felt different. Not just inside me, but around me, like the ground had shifted and no one else noticed. Langston, I said to the hostess, showing my invite. She smiled too quickly, glanced at her clipboard, froze. You're seated. Hallway area, she said. By the service doors. I blinked. You mean like an overflow table? Her smile didn't move.
No, ma'am.
Hallway seating. The hallway smelled of bleach and lilies. I sat alone at a folding table wedged near trash bins, while crystal chandeliers lit up the ballroom like a crown. I could see them through the glass. Veronica laughing in white, Natalia adjusting her veil, Robert talking to the press like a CEO off the clock. They didn't look once in my direction. The hallway suits her, someone whispered as the doors swung open again. I looked up. Veronica stood in the doorway, bouquet half lowered, veil trailing behind like smoke. Her reflection split in the glass, inside version adored, outside version armed. You found her place, huh? She said. Guess you don't count. I didn't answer. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. She waited. I didn't move. Her smile twitched, like it always did when her punchline missed. You don't belong in there, she added. I stood. Quietly. Smoothed my dress. Picked up the gift box, silver-wrapped, perfect seams. Walked out. No scene.
No craí. No collapse.
Just footsteps. Cold air bit through the fabric of my sleeves. The lake glimmered behind the resort. Silence stretched, sharp and deliberate. And then, a black SUV engine ignited from the far end of the lot. Headlights stayed off. No one got out. I kept walking, ears buzzing, skin crawling. One step, then two. Phone buzzed. Unknown number. Leaving the wedding was a mistake.
Go back. Now.
My fingers went numb. I looked up. The SUV lights flashed once, then shut. Something wasn't right. Not just the insult.
Not just the seating.
Something had been arranged. Like my absence was expected, needed. When people want you invisible, it's not just rejection. It's premeditated. The moment I walked away, someone followed. The lake swallowed sound. My heels hit gravel. Too loud. Too alone.
Ivalkid fast.
Not because I was in a hurry, but because if I stopped, I might unravel. The wind clawed through my dress like it had a grudge. I hugged the silver gift box tighter. Then a shadow crossed the path ahead.
Tall.
Still. Just far enough away to make me doubt what I saw. The man in the black suit. Same from the hallway. Standing across the bridge that led to the back side of the resort. Unlit. Watching. I blinked. He was gone. My breath stalled. I turned. Nothing behind me. I kept moving, ducking behind the vendor carts lined for cleanup crews. A floral arch blocked the side entrance to the staff quarters. I slipped behind it, stayed low, listened. The ballroom walls weren't soundproof. Laughter, clinks of glass, some garbled announcement about toasts. No one missed me. Correction. They counted on it.
My phone buzzed again.
Unknown number. This isn't about a wedding. The message deleted itself.
No sender trace.
Air caught in my chest. I slipped back toward the edge of the building, peeked through a glass panel. Inside, Veronica was arguing with someone. The man in black, his back to me. She looked pale.
Panicked.
Holding a thick manila envelope. I squinted. He pointed at a screen. Her phone. He whispered something. She flinched. Handed over the envelope. He slid it inside his blazer. Behind them, my mother checked her watch. Then her phone. Then glanced straight toward my direction. I ducked. The hallway near the kitchen door cracked open. Someone stepped out. Female. Older. Gray streaks in her hair. Ruth. The same staff member who brought me the water. She spotted me crouched near the floral arch.
Her face changed.
Fear first. Then something else. Urgency. She motioned fast. I didn't trust her, but I was out of options. We ducked together into the maintenance hall. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead. "You're not supposed to be here," she whispered. "Then why were you looking for me?" I snapped. "I wasn't. I was told to make sure you left." Her eyes flicked down the hallway. "But then I saw something. In the files. You should see it too." Ruth reached into her apron. Pulled out a USB drive wrapped in tissue. "I don't have a laptop," I said. "Your phone," she whispered. "If it has a USB-C port." I hesitated.
Took it.
"What is this?" She leaned in, voice trembling. "The real guest list. The documents. Something they didn't want your name on." I plugged it in. 3 folders. One labeled, Langston DeVries Wedding. 1, Estate Transfer Documentation. 1, Alicia, Erased Drafts. Why does my name have a folder? "Because your inheritance wasn't supposed to vanish," Ruth said. "They're using your absence to finalize the deed tonight. If you're not on site legally, it counts as forfeiture." "That's not..." I stopped. "That's not legal." "It is. If it's been filed as uncontested and all heirs are present to sign. But you weren't even told." I stared at the USB.
My throat closed.
"Why would they do that?" "Because you're the last obstacle," Ruth whispered. "And this wedding? It's the perfect cover." Cameras buzzed. Sound above us. Footsteps.
Fast.
I shoved the USB into my coat. Ruth backed away. "They're locking down the building," she said. "You need to get out." "I need proof." "You already have it." "No," I said. "I need more than paperwork. I need faces, voices, cameras, screens." My mind turned. The AV booth. If I could get into the AV room, I could download internal feeds. Resort policies required event surveillance for all ballroom functions, stored locally for 24 hours. If Veronica said what I think she did to that man, it would be there. Cameras wouldn't lie. Another message pinged. Unknown number. "Too slow, Alicia." No location. No contact. I looked at Ruth. "You need to pretend you never saw me." "I never do," she said. "No one ever does." Then she was gone. I turned. Ran down the corridor. Every door I passed could hide someone. I reached the side hall near the ballroom's AV control.
Locked.
Footsteps behind me. Closer. I ducked into a linen closet. Slammed the door. Held my breath. Shoes scraped outside. Someone paused. The doorknob turned.
Slow.
Because the person opening that door wasn't the man who'd been following me. The man who opened the door wasn't the one from the SUV. He was younger.
Sweaty.
Hoodie half-zipped. Holding a laptop like a shield. "Don't scream," he whispered. I didn't. "Are you Alicia Langston?" "Yes," I said. "Who the hell are you?" "Jason Keller. I'm with Sierra Vision Avenue, contracted for the wedding. I saw someone wipe your name from the system logs." He held up the laptop. I backtracked. "It wasn't just seating. It's tied to the transfer event." "Transfer? Estate. Business. Money. Legal level stuff." His words slammed together. My head throbbed. He reached into his coat. Pulled out a flash drive. "This isn't just a seating mistake," he said. "It's a digital erasure. You're being written out." I grabbed the USB Ruth gave me. Plugged it into my phone. Jason watched as the folders opened. 3 folders.
Langston DeVries Wedding.
Estate transfer documentation. Alicia. Erased drafts. I tapped the last one. Documents.
Scans.
Court forms. Fake signature files. My signature. Used on a petition I never saw. My legal name. Used to approve my own removal as a co-heir. The family filed a petition in civil court 5 months ago, alleging willful disassociation. I never got the notice. "This is fraud," I whispered. Jason nodded. "And they're submitting the finalization tonight." At 10 p.m., with a timestamp showing you left the premises.
I stared at him.
My voice cracked. They planned this. They didn't just want me out. They wanted me erased. Because if you're not present to contest, the transfer locks in. That's what this whole wedding is covering.
Cut.
A sound behind us. Metal clink. Muffled steps. We ducked into the hall. Where's the AV room? I asked. North stairwell. Through kitchen.
I didn't hesitate.
We sprinted. Kitchen lights flashed overhead. Smells of burnt butter, champagne, and sweat. One chef cursed as we slipped past. Another ping on my phone. Unknown number. You should have stayed in the hallway. I stopped. Jason grabbed my arm. Keep moving. Upstairs. Narrow corridor. AV control room at the end. He unlocked it. We slipped in. Locked the door. Screens everywhere. Audio levels. Multiple feeds. Jason pulled up the ballroom surveillance. I leaned forward. Veronica. In the bridal suite. Talking to the black-suited man. I hit play. No audio, yet. Jason patched it in. She won't fight. She never does, Veronica said. Just get her out before 9. Once the signatures are logged, the estate is clean. Any risk of her catching on? She's too soft. Always has been.
Cut.
My stomach turned. Jason looked at me. You said this wasn't about money. It is. No, I said. It's about control. I scrolled through feeds. One from the service hallway. My table. The empty chair. Cut to another feed. Natalia, my mother, talking to a man I didn't recognize. She handed him something. A leather folder. He handed her an envelope.
Zoom.
The name on the folder. Sole transfer agreement. Langston Trust Holdings. Jason whistled. They're consolidating everything under Veronica. Even the land? Especially the land. I stared at the screen. They don't think I'll fight. Will you? Before I could answer, another noise.
Door rattled.
Jason shut the monitor. A voice on the other side.
Calm.
Confident. You don't want this to get messy. We stayed silent. More rattling. Then a second voice. You've got nowhere to go, Alicia. Jason's eyes locked with mine. He mouthed, backup exit. I nodded. He moved to the back wall. Opened a breaker panel. Behind it, an old maintenance crawl. We slipped in. Crawled through metal darkness. Our knees hit dust. Bolts. Insulation. A soft hum vibrated through the wall. Do you know what family is? I whispered. Jason breathed hard. Pain in matching suits. I smiled. Bitter. Family is a vote. And I never had one. The crawl opened near the ballroom wing. We dropped down behind linen carts. My phone buzzed. Ruth. They know you have it. They'll erase it, and you if they can. I looked up. Ballroom doors, wide open. Music back on. Toasts beginning. Time. 9:42 p.m. 18 minutes left. And whatever was on that USB, they were willing to kill for it. The linen carts hit us just long enough for my pulse to settle into something sharp. Not calm, never calm, but focused. Jason checked the time on his watch. 9:44 p.m. 16 minutes until the transfer locked. We need somewhere they won't look, he whispered. Where? The basement archives. Wedding planners use it as a temp vault for legal docs. I saw staff take sealed packets down earlier. A vault. Exactly where contracts would be kept before filing. We moved fast, cutting through the kitchen, slicing between steam clouds and clattering pans. A sous chef yelled at us to get out. Jason flashed his AV badge and kept running.
Cut.
The back stairwell loomed. Metal.
Cold.
Light flickering overhead like a warning signal. Halfway down, Jason's phone buzzed. He froze. Don't, I hissed. But he looked. A text. No sender ID. Bring her to us. Jason's face strained. They think you're helping them, I whispered. I'm not. I know. But the message meant something worse. They weren't just watching me. They were watching him.
Cut.
Basement corridor. Concrete walls. Low ceiling. Smell of dust and old paper. A single bulb flickering like it was afraid of the dark. Jason pointed at a steel door marked archive storage.
Locked.
He knelt, tools out. You can pick locks? I asked. He shrugged. Everyone who works AV knows at least one illegal skill. Occupational hazard. I almost laughed. Almost. While he picked, I scanned the hall. Shadows shifted like they had weight. My father once told me, fear isn't real. It's just information. I repeated it now, but it didn't help. The lock clicked. We slipped inside.
Cut.
I expected shelves. Maybe boxes. What I didn't expect was a climate-controlled vault room with fire-resistant cabinets, electronic locks, and sealed evidence envelopes stacked like this was a law firm, not a wedding venue. What kind of wedding planner is this? I whispered. The kind that handles high-profile estates, Jason said. Meaning your family. My throat tightened. He went to a drawer marked Langston Trust Holdings, pending. Pulled it open. Inside, 3 envelopes, stamped for notarization. One name printed on each. Veronica Langston. Robert Langston. Natalia Langston. No envelope with my name. My chest burned. Jason grabbed another drawer. Trust revision and signed. Inside, a 4th envelope. My name. But the envelope was ripped open.
Empty.
I felt dizzy. They opened mine. Jason nodded. They removed your rights before tonight. Probably weeks ago. I reached into the drawer, fingers brushing something wedged in the back corner. A folded sheet.
Old.
Yellowed.
Handwritten.
Jason turned up the flashlight from his phone. My breath cracked. It was a will. Not my father's. My aunt's. Her handwriting. Her signature. Witness stamps. Date from 11 years ago. And one line circled. In the event of my death, my controlling shares and property rights transfer to my niece, Alicia Langston. Not Veronica. Not Robert. Not Natalia.
Me.
I stumbled back. Air vanished. Jason steadied me. This changes everything.
No, iwis parat.
This explains everything. Aunt Meredith, my father's sister, died suddenly when I was 15. They said heart failure. They said she left everything to the family trust. They said her documents were lost. They lied. Every one of them.
Cut.
Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Not slow. Not cautious.
Searching.
Jason killed the flashlight. We held our breath. 2 shadows passed the glass window of the vault. A man's silhouette. Then my mother's voice. She has the USB. Get it back. I don't care how. Jason's fingers dug into my arm. My heart hammered. She's in on it, I whispered. You doubted that? No, I said. I hoped.
Cut.
The footsteps faded, but the tension hung like smoke. Jason exhaled. We need to get this will somewhere safe. Court won't accept a digital copy alone. They'll need the original for verification, signatures, ink analysis, probate confirmation. I know how probate works, I said, but we're not getting out unless. A soft creak. We froze. Someone else was in the vault. A figure stepped out from behind a filing cabinet. Ruth. Her apron gone. Her expression tight. You found it, she said quietly. I raised the will. You knew. Yes. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Because knowing too early gets people killed. Her voice shook. I saw what this family did to your aunt. I promised myself I wouldn't let them do it to you. My blood chilled. What did they do? Ruth swallowed. Your aunt didn't die of heart failure.
Cut.
The light flickered violently, buzzing overhead like electricity had a pulse. Ruth stepped closer. She tried to change the trust, to give you control. And the next week she stopped, looked toward the door. Footsteps again. Closer. Jason whispered, we need a way out. Ruth pointed to the emergency maintenance hatch near the floor. Through there. It connects to the north stairwell. I grabbed the will, the USB, my phone. As Jason opened the hatch, Ruth pressed something into my hand. A key card. For the ballroom AV booth, she whispered. If you want the truth to be heard, that's where you play it.
Ich zerrte her.
Why help me? She met my eyes. Because you're not the first Langston girl they tried to erase.
Cut.
The vault door handle rattled.
Hard.
Ruth shoved us toward the hatch. Go. Jason crawled in first. I followed. The last thing I saw before the hatch closed was Ruth stepping forward, shoulders squared, ready to face whoever was breaking in. A dull boom echoed. A shout. Then silence. The crawl space went dark. We moved, fast, breath shaking, sweat chilling our skin. My heart pounded so loudly, it felt like a countdown. All I could think was one thing. One truth I couldn't run from anymore. They didn't just steal my inheritance. They buried my bloodline. The ballroom lights glowed like a tomb chandelier. Guests toasted. Glasses clinked. Music played soft. Inside, they believed everything was normal. I had other plans. Jason stood beside the AV booth door, keycard in hand. I held the USB and the old will. My fingers shook, but not from fear. From rage. He pressed the card.
Door unlocked.
We slipped inside. Quiet. Monitors lined the wall. Audio mixers, live feeds, event countdown clocks. Wedding planners command center. Jason plugged the USB into the main terminal. I swallowed. He hit enter. The screens flickered.
Cut.
Sudden blackout. The entire ballroom went dark. A scream. A glass smashing. Then the audio feed came in. A hush first, confusion, then a voice. Veronica's voice, cold, controlled. She won't fight. She never does. Once Alicia steps out, we proceed. Estate locks.
Static.
Then Robert's voice. Tonight closes everything. No loose ends. A sharp gasp. Then chaos. The feed cut. Lights back on. The band stuttered. Murmurs grew. Phones lit up. Guests turned toward screens. I walked through the main doors into the blinding light. They saw me. I raised the old will high above my head. It caught the flash of a chandelier, bright as truth. I spoke, my voice steady. This is her will. My aunt's will.
A hush. Some gasps.
Some denial. Veronica lied, I said. You built this wedding on my erasure. On forged papers. On silence. Cameras panned. Phones recorded. I felt hundreds of invisible hands point at the real heir. Veronica's face drained. Natalia paled. Robert stared, mouth open like a severed lock without key. One of the band's speakers scratched. Electricity or panic. I couldn't tell. Then a chandelier, old, ornate, cracked overhead. The cable groaned. Glass. Metal. Death hanging by a thread. Veronica lunged. At me. Slow motion. Her heel raised. About to tear the will from my hands. But Jason stepped into the path. Grabbed her wrist. The chandelier snapped. Crash. Glass rained. Light shattered. Scream. Coughing.
Panic. A man crumpled beneath fallen crystal.
Guests scattered. Phones dropped. Screams rose. Sirens faint at first, then loud. Security flooded in. Guests pushed outward. Danger and confusion met like fire and gasoline. Through fractured light and noise, I stood. I held the will. I held the proof. I held the truth. I turned to face them all. No more secrets, I said. Polaroid flashes. Cell phones recording. Officers pushing through. Then the black-suited man, the one who escorted Veronica earlier, stepped forward. Hands raised. A faint sneer. You think this changes things? He spat. Everything, I said. Cameras zoomed. Sirens closer. Justice didn't come with applause. It came with handcuffs. With arrests. With flashing lights outside the resort. With proof that bloodlines, when written in ink, could not be erased by dirty signatures. I didn't smile. Not really. But I felt something solid stir inside me. A beginning. I walked out. The will in one hand, the USB in the other. Behind me,
chaos.
In front of me, freedom. They built this wedding to erase me, but I turned it into their funeral. The sirens echoed through the trees, distant but growing louder. The rain had already started, slow drops at first, then heavier. Water collected on the driveway, reflecting flashing lights like fractured glass. I stood outside the Lakeshore Crown Resort, coat pressed tight, the old will clutched in one hand, the USB in the other. My breath misted in the cold air. I exhaled. They came out. Veronica, Natalia, Robert, security guards, police, reporters, cameras, flashbulbs, questions, blurs of movement. Veronica's eyes met mine, hollow, frantic. She opened her mouth, but no words came. The chandelier had fallen. A crystal arc smashed near her feet. The bride's perfect night crumbled. I wanted her voice to say sorry, but the only sound was rainfall. A young officer stepped forward, badge out. "Miss Langston," he said, holding out handcuffs. "You're under arrest." I blinked. Confusion flared in his eyes, then realization. He dropped the cuffs. "Actually," he said slowly, "you're not. But we need you to come with us. As a witness. And custody of these documents." I nodded. The will, the USB, the digital evidence. A gust of wind rattled the resort's front sign. Neon letters flickered. "Welcome Langston DeVries' wedding." Now they sputtered.
Died. Dark.
The rain hit harder, like cold applause. I walked forward, step by step.
No flinch. No regret.
Outside, on the gravel, a lawyer's car idled. A man in a dark suit stood near it. He nodded at me. The one who claimed innocence by association. The black suit man. His face hard, eyes narrow. He opened his mouth, but a camera phone rose before him. "Say something," I whispered. "Let the truth hear your lies." He hesitated, then turned away, slipped into the car. The engine roared, drowned by the rain, then silence. Somewhere behind me, Veronica gasped as officers led her away. Natalia crumbled into a mourner's collapse. Robert dissolved into shock. The guests scattered. Murmurs, whispers, disbelief. The illusion shattered. Later, in a small room lined with official documents, the lawyer from the trust company sat across from me. He slid the original will across the table. Heavy.
Real.
Irrefutable. He asked quietly, "Do you want everything back? The house? The estate?" I looked at the papers. At the inked signature. At the sealed envelope bearing my name. I folded.
Slowly. Softly.
"No," I said. He blinked. "You want it?" I shook my head. "I want them to remember what erasing a person looks like." I pushed the will back. Documents, signatures, contracts. They were all symbols. Paper and ink. And if I took them, I'd become part of the system, the legacy they worshipped. Instead, I slid the stack back, left the lawyer's office. Outside, dawn broke over Vermont. Pink and cold and real. Rain still falling. The world smelled like wet pine and new beginnings. I walked away from the trust company car, stayed on foot, took the long road through empty streets. Headphones in, music low, my own heartbeat loud. I thought about a line I heard once. True freedom isn't the absence of chains, it's the choice to break them. Tonight I broke mine. I passed the old estate gates. Behind me, a banner hung crooked. "Congratulations, Langston DeVries." It fluttered in the rain, helpless. I didn't look back. I stopped at a small house, rented.
Plain.
Unmarked. Mine for now. I unlocked the door. Cold wood floor creaked. I dropped the USB and the will into a drawer. Slid it shut. Locked it. I stood in the empty room. Wind rattled the window. Rain tapped gently. I breathed.
Deep. Clear.
I whispered, "No more hollow seats." I would keep walking, on my own terms. They built this wedding to erase me. I used it to raise my voice. This time, I'm not sitting in the hallway. I own the damn path.